Yo, what's up, people?
Yeah.
It's a Critical Sports Theory podcast.
You know.
October 19th, 2021. We are in the building.
Let that be rock.
Like that, right?
I love it.
That's that joint. So what's up, man?
Yo, bro. Nice long weekend. Great sports weekend, man. Chilling, few beers. You could have just went from like Friday, get home from work, all the way through Sunday night. And like, you didn't even really have to have any downtime. You just went straight through like Saturday night with college football. And then we had the extra game Sunday with the London game, which I watched a little bit of. I ran around a little bit, but on Sunday, but man, what a weekend. We had playoff baseball.
The baseball.
Yeah, the Red Sox and Astros started their series off, which was nice. Some runs scored.
It's a home run derby.
Yeah, my Stros.
A grand slam derby.
My Stros. And a big weekend for the Braves. The Braves jumped up 2-0 on the Dodgers this weekend. Boy, you seen that? Yeah, I mean, as we do in this podcast right now, the Braves lost a tough heartbreaker in Game 3, 6-5. That was a tough one. And I'm watching this game, and I'm just talking to y'all. I don't know if this is the first episode you've seen, but I predicted the Braves and the Astros before the playoffs to go to the World Series. So, I ride with the Braves anyway. So, so now they're in the series with the Dodgers, the defending champs. They're up 2-0, going to L.A., and this was a really good game, man. The Dodgers jumped out 2-0. Corey Seager hit a 2-run homer. But then the Braves came back with 5 runs and kind of took the game over. And it's 5-2 in the 8th inning. I'm thinking, wow, we're like 5 outs away from a 3-0 lead in the series. 5 outs away. 2 guys get on. I think Taylor was on and somebody else. And Cody Bellinger comes up. And I'm telling Ann, I'm like, this guy Cody Bellinger, who at 165 this year, he used to be a star. Like, he got hurt with his shoulder, celebrating the home run last year. He had a really bad season, but which is unbelievable. Hit 165. I'm like, is that really what's going on with Cody Bellinger? That was like a side talk chat of baseball all year. It was like one of them was like, what's going on with Cody Bellinger? He's hitting 165. What the hell's going on? So in the playoffs, he's been doing a little bit better. So he comes up 2 on, 2 out, bottom of the 8th, down 5-2. And oh boy, nice high fastball, Ant. You saw it.
Oh, dude, that was way out of the strike zone. He went fishing for that one.
And he'd fished all right.
Fucking hacked away at that thing.
He crushed that thing. And
yeah.
Take game tied at 5.
Gone.
Oh, that was a momentum changer. That was like that pulled a lot of energy out of me, that home run. Braves and the Dodgers going to win 6-5. Mookie hits a RBI double in the same inning to take the lead. And the Braves, that's a tough one for my Braves, though. But we're still up 2-1 in the NLCS, so we're okay. We would have signed up for that before the series. Be up 2-1 going to Game 4. So we got the Red Sox game on right now. They're up 2-1 right now. They're up 2-1 in the series and up 2-1 in Game 4, the Red Sox. So it's a 2-1 type of thing. Mic check, 2-1. Yeah, everything's 2-1 right now. Braves up 2-1. Red Sox up 2-1. The Red Sox are up 2-1 in the game also. So, but so that's where we are in baseball. The college football though, and let's talk about it.
How'd you do this weekend?
9-3, baby.
9-3.
Go check
Jesus.
the stats.
Oh my goodness.
9-3, bro. And
show me the money.
Yo, I'm telling you, these guys got to, tell your friend, tell a friend when you get these podcasts. There's picks in here, college football, baby. We do this. I got the algorithm in my brain, man, for college
Kid
football.
sees Fibonacci sequences.
I see those Fibonacci waves in college football.
Let's ride the waves,
crazy,
baby.
Bro, did you see Georgia? And we talked about Georgia. I finally got the Georgia game right. I stayed consistent the last three times we did the picks on the podcast. I bet against Georgia, took the points. It didn't work in the Arkansas game. They got hammered. It didn't work at Auburn. They got hammered. But the fucking Kentucky covered, man. Backdoor cover too, bro. Backdoor. Let me tell you about a backdoor cover. So I got Kentucky plus 21.5 against the Dogs. By the way, the Dogs defense, dude, it's insane. how good that defense is. They're insane. So they're up. So I got the dogs, right? And it was 14-7 Georgia at the half, but I'm getting 21 and a half with Kentucky. I'm chilling, right? Next thing you know, I'm watching other games. It's 30-7. So now 30-7, they're up 23, and I'm only getting 21 and a half. So I'm losing now, late in the fourth quarter. Georgia's going to beat me again, it looks like. The game's over. There's like a minute left, but Kentucky has the ball. So obviously they're going to try to score a touchdown because that's what, you do in football, even if you're losing. They end up scoring a touchdown for me with 4 seconds left. A meaningless touchdown, but I get the cover with Kentucky.
Sweet.
That's called I was telling you, that's the backdoor cover, bro. You're getting points. You're underdog. You lost the game, but you still have a chance to cover the spread. I wonder if the coaches know. Like the coach probably like, fuck, we got to try to cover the spread. I took the 21 and a half.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Right?
The history of all that shit.
Yeah, right?
All those guys are crooked, bro.
Yeah, backdoor cover city. I love those. So, yeah, finally I covered with Kentucky, but I got lucky. But let's talk about the Georgia defense, man. Jeez. That defense, in 7 games, that team's 7-0. And I was doing some math earlier. They've outscored their opponents 267-46 this year.
Jesus.
Something ridiculous. I know they've given up 46 points in 7 games. And the crazier part about it is, what's even more powerful about this? They've only given up 16 points in the first half this season in 7 games. 1 touchdown and 3 field goals. That's it.
Wow.
And they scored 170 points at the same time. And out of the 46 points, they've given up 3 touchdowns. The defense has only allowed 3 touchdowns in 7 games. And they played good teams. They haven't played these horrible FCS teams and bad out-of-conference games. They're 7-0. That's 5-0 in the SEC, by the way. So it's not like they're playing stiff teams from nowhere, like Little Sisters at a poor university and such. We're playing SEC teams. And Clemson is another team they played. And UAB, who happens to be a good Conference USA team. So they played a tough schedule. That's 7-0. They're just shutting it down. And you know what's funny? They were talking about Heisman Trophy. And I've heard a couple of people, and this has never happened before, like a defensive lineman winning the Heisman Trophy. I don't think that's ever happened. But they were actually pushing for Georgia's nose tackle. I've seen play, and I'm like, yeah, he's nice. They got a whole bunch of good players on defense. But then I was watching the game, and I was like, yo, he's dominating. Watching the Kentucky game, they might give it to him in the year of wokeness. They're like, F these quarterbacks. Let's give a defensive tackle, nose tackle, the Heisman.
They're the unsung heroes of the team.
No, but this guy's a savage, though. He's unblockable. And when you have a deep, if you're playing a 3-4 and your front 3 is just 3 monsters that can't be stopped, that just push the pocket, Georgia kind of has that. And their 4 backers are all all conference. And this is a Georgia team that lost 6 players from the secondary from last year. Three corners got drafted to the NFL. It's watch out, Georgia and Kirby Smart are building like Alabama. It seems like Kirby Smart took a lot of Alabama stuff to Georgia, and they're really getting strong. That team is number 1 in the country. And for a good reason. Iowa lost. Number 2, Iowa. Lost to Purdue. I had a feeling about that game. It was going to be tough. I believe I said it was going to be a tough game for Iowa, but Iowa really isn't that great offensively, and that's what killed them. Petrus throwing interceptions. They don't really run the ball that well. The problem they had in this game against Purdue, they have a good team, but they have a 1 wide receiver I think might be the best receiver in the country, David Bell. He torched them, and Iowa did not have their top corner, Riley Moss, which I wish I would have known. Then I would have really picked Purdue because Riley Moss is an awesome cornerback, and he didn't play. And I was actually looking forward to that matchup of him against David Bell, the wideout from Purdue. But Riley Moss was out, and David Bell cooked Iowa in Iowa City, 11 catches, 240 yards against the Hawkeyes. He was easily the player of the game. Purdue won kind of convincingly, 24-7. So Iowa, their national championship hopes damaged. Now they got to keep their head around in the Big Ten West. They still got to win games to get to the Big Ten championship game. That's a big loss for them. Cincinnati smoked somebody who isn't that good, another team.
Some ham and eggers.
Yeah, they're playing in their conference schedule, so they're going to have a couple of ham and egg. Well, actually, no. They beat UCF, but UCF's playing without the quarterback. I forget his name. Dylan, what the heck's his name? Dylan Gabriel. And since he's been hurt, they've been struggling, UCF. So Cincinnati smacked them around 56-21.
Got smacked around in the bounce house or on the road?
No, in Cincinnati. So Cincinnati's probably going to jump to number 2 in the country behind Georgia. And that's crazy because they played last year in the Peach Bowl head-to-head, and that was a really good game, which Georgia won, but very close, very tight. The rematch would be kind of cool, actually, for the national championship game or in the playoffs. If Cincinnati wins out, they got to go to the playoffs. I don't want to eat that. Like, I know a team from the American Conference has not made the playoffs yet. They've been kind of excluded. UCF was up there a couple times, and they've kind of been excluded from the playoffs and the BCS and whatever. So this could be that year where a group of 5 team. Oh yeah, there's been a couple of group of 5 teams that have been kind of on the outside looking in. Boise State, Cincinnati, a few of those guys. Cincinnati, UCF. This could be Cincinnati's year. They got to stay. They're going to have a couple of games that are going to be against ranked teams later on in the conference. SMU was also undefeated. I hope they stay undefeated. And Houston's been playing well. So they can win those 2 games. That'll keep them in the top 4. I'd like to see Cincinnati, if they win, they should get in. There should be no questions asked. Like if the Cats win the rest of their games, they can't get overlooked. They got to be in the mix. You know what I'm saying, young guard? Let's get it. Oh, and one of our picks that we lost, though, our fucking boys, Liberty. Bro, they were 30. Remember I said they were 33-point favorite?
Yeah.
They lost the game outright.
It's bad.
They lost outright, 31-28. Think about that. That 33-point favorite lost. That's college football for you. That's college football in a nuts. It's a beautiful thing about college football. Liberty was 33-point favorite. I laid the points because we don't bet Liberty every week. That's what we do here. You know, just for multiple reasons. We love Liberty, freedom, and we love Hugh Freeze, who's the coach of Liberty, because he, they said he cheated and Ole Miss and, the whole paying players, and they had the whole scandal, and they fired Hugh Freeze. But the guy's name is Hugh Freeze. What a fucking dope name. And he coached at Liberty. And he's revived Liberty. So it's not even about him cheating or whatever. He's a great coach. He was good at Ole Miss. People were like suspicious. Oh, he got Ole Miss too good. They have these NFL prospects. What is he really doing? So they had a witch hunt for Hugh Freeze, and they got him. He got fired. Now he rebounded back at Liberty, and he's got Liberty playing really good football. But they lost to Louisiana Monroe 31-28. Now it's a bad loss. That's a rough one. So that was kind of the game. That if you'd have bet Louisiana Monroe to win money line, you'd have had 18-1 odds on that game. That's what I was saying. College football, that's why I love betting it, because the lines stretch out. Like in the NFL, when you got a team that's 14-point favorite over another team, they're not going to lose. The NFL, if it gets to a 14-point favorite, a team's in bad shape, and they're really probably not going to win that, have no chance. In college football, 14-point line is not like that. You have a chance. You can win. That's why the money line plus money in college football is so beautiful. It's easy to be a 10-point favorite because the points are so easy, a little easier to come by, and they get a little bit, momentum is different. So that's why you can really bounce that money in college. Like Purdue, for example. Purdue was a 12-point underdog. They win outright 24-7 at Iowa, on a plus 500. And that was, and they smacked, they cruised over Iowa, which was kind of tough to watch. I like the Hawkeyes. The Oklahoma State game. Remember I was saying that Oklahoma State's been flying under the radar, undefeated, women number 12. They were flying under the radar.
Yep.
And this was going to be the week that they came up and showed out. And what did they do? They showed out. The Cowboys, the Cowpokes. 32-24 at Texas. Getting the win, down 17-3 second quarter. It didn't look good either. Oklahoma State was down 17-3 second quarter. I was like, oh boy, this is going to be a rough one for me. I'm talking all that shit. I'm like, Texas was driving. But looking like 24-3 coming up. They're inside the 30. Bijan Robinson's running all over the place for Texas. And I'm like, oh boy, they're going to get blown out. And the next thing you know, pick six. That always happens. You throw that little out route a little too late from the slide, running out, throw it a little too late. A good corner or safety is going to jump that sucker and take it to the house. And that's exactly what happened. Oklahoma State 90-yard interception return for a touchdown. Now it's 17-10. Changed the whole game. Next thing you know, they're running the ball again with Warren, and Oklahoma State ends up winning it 32-24 at Texas. That's a big win because now that's setting up a showdown between Oklahoma State and Oklahoma down the road in the Big 12. If both teams could be undefeated, that'd be a big-time football game, in the Big 12. Yeah, that would be kind of ill. That would be a very, very big game.
Would you say that was the game of the weekend?
Oklahoma State over Texas?
Yeah.
One of them. It's very up there as the game of the week. I would kind of say there was a couple of them. Ole Miss Tennessee was a fun game. I didn't even tell you about this game, Ant. First of all, that was one of the ones I lost. I took Tennessee. Close game, great game. Ole Miss ends up winning 31-26, but late in the game, Tennessee was coming back, was rallying. And a big play, I think it was like 4th down and like 16 or something like that. And he threw a little seam route, and the guy got tackled about a half yard short of the first down. But let me give you the backstory. The coach for Ole Miss used to coach at Tennessee. And he left on kind of bad terms. He didn't do well. He's Lane Kiffin, the snide, smug, little Lane Kiffin, people who don't, social media hates him. He's one of those guys. So when they replayed the play, it kind of looked like he got the first down, but they didn't give it to him. The fans at Tennessee just started throwing shit at the Ole Miss sideline, and they had to stop the game for like 30 minutes.
Wow.
With like 40 seconds left in the game. They stopped it literally for 30 minutes. They were throwing batteries, golf balls. Lane Kiffin caught one of the golf balls, got hit with it, picked it up. He was like, look, he's showing the golf ball to the security. They had to actually evacuate their sideline onto the field, and they were getting pelted with shit. Bottles, coffee was getting thrown. It was a scene.
It's fucking college kids, man.
Yeah.
They love those Ragers, bro.
And it was because Lane Kiffin, they would definitely go in. Lane Kiffin's just one of those dudes. He's like a target. He's just like people look at him, I think, and they're like, I don't like that motherfucker, Lane Kiffin. He's smug. He's a little arrogant. He's a very smart football guy. His dad was Monty Kiffin, the great defensive coordinator in the NFL. So he's like got that, he knows he's got good type of shit, but he's got that look too. Like he looks like a dickhead stockbroker. Lane Kiffin. People want to slap the shit out of him. They were definitely throwing batteries at Lane Kiffin, bro. It's crazy.
Wow. That's fucking foul, bro.
But he's a good coach, and Ole Miss got the win, but they got a little lucky with that call. But Matt Corral played good. They had some offensive linemen out, some receivers out, but Corral had like 220 yards passing and almost 200 yards rushing. He was tremendous for Ole Miss. Keeps them alive in the SEC West because Bama lost, so they're still in it. Oklahoma Sooners, man. Number 4 and probably number 3 now. Had a game against TCU. This is one of the other game I lost. Bama played well. Oklahoma played well. TCU hung in there. They were in the game. It was close at halftime. Alabama slowly pulled away. Final was 52-31. It was it was a good game. TCU can score. They're a good team, but Oklahoma was just too much. The quarterback running, the quarterback throwing. They got weapons all over the field, and the defense made enough stops they needed just to win the game. They weren't like dominant, but they did what they needed to win that game. And then we also had the Alabama bounce back game after the loss to Texas A&M. They smashed Mississippi State 49-9. They were never really in the game. Alabama just came out and rolled on them. That receiver they got, Jamison Williams, he's a beast. He's a transfer from Ohio State. I like him as a top 10 NFL pick. He's one of those Alabama receivers that's going to be a pro's pro. Like he's very talented, smooth. It looks too easy. College football actually looks easy for him. I'm like watching him like, okay, plays on Alabama, and everything is just way too easy for this guy. Like, he's definitely going to the draft this year, like, without question. He's just gliding around, catching balls, running through, no big deal. Touchdown here, touchdown there. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot, Nick.
Light work.
Yeah,
light work.
Yeah, definite light work. Nick, thanks for the help. Nick Saban. I'll give you 5% of my first NFL check. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, good game of the day. So now let's get back to the games I was hitting on. So Kentucky backdoor covered. Beautiful win for me with right here with Minnesota over Nebraska. Like I said, take the 4.5. Why is Nebraska a 4.5 point favorite of Minnesota? Take Minnesota with the points and the money line. They won 30-23, and the game went over. That was a beautiful one for me. No problem, guys. I got you. Oh, another one I had was another good game, really good game. The Pac-12 after dark, the late joint. Arizona State at Utah. That game was interesting, and I told you I'd take Utah. It was be close. Arizona State jumped out nice. They looked like they were going to win the game. 21-7 at the half, they were up. Jaden Daniels was looking good. They scored a touchdown right before the half. Defense was playing well. I was like, shit, Arizona State really is the class of the Pac-12. They can running through Utah. Utah, second half was like a totally different game. All of a sudden, Cameron Rising and the Utah offense gets going, and they completely shut Arizona State down and out in the second half. Utah outscored them 28-0 in the second half and won 35-21. So we look good on that game, y'all. We get winners out here, baby. Another one we had, as I flipped through, was the UCLA-Washington game. I said UCLA, I like Chip Kelly on the road at Washington. Washington's still a little young. That was a nice game. Played tough, but UCLA usually had a touchdown lead most of the game, and they won 24-17. They shut Washington down late. Also, another game, what is Oregon? Number 9, Oregon can't cover the spreads. Oregon's a big spread team. They get these big spreads at home, and they don't cover. They win, but they don't cover. They didn't cover against Cal 24-17, like I said. Then we had the Northwestern Rutgers. Like I told y'all, why is Rutgers 2-point favorite at Northwestern? This is too early. Too early for that kind of stuff. Against, it's still Pat Fitzgerald, Northwestern team at home. They were playing better. Rutgers just got blown out by Ohio State, even though they had been playing well, kind of better football overall. They got smashed by Ohio State. And Northwestern, like I said, beat them 21-7, kind of easy. Rutgers didn't do much. Northwestern starting to get back into that Northwestern tough defense kind of groove. I like them plus the points against Michigan. They're playing Michigan on the road. They're getting 21.5. I love Northwestern in that game in the points. What else do we have rolling? I'm just trying to go. Oh, Pitt at Virginia Tech, 28-7 Pitt. They're now in the top 25. Kenny Pickett, to me, might be the leader in the clubhouse for the Heisman. He had a good game. Pitt's first in the Coastal. I love that game, 28-7. And then I'm just looking to see what else we might have had. Iowa State had a nice win at Kansas State. Don't sleep on Iowa State in the Big 12. They're still hanging around. They still got, some players out there that are top level. So don't sleep on the clones. And, and I just want to touch on one thing. Washington State won their third in a row, 34-31 at home against Stanford. And then the crazy thing is Washington State had to fire their head coach because he refuses to get the vaccine.
So they fired the head coach.
Yes. He would ordinarily he wouldn't have gotten fired, but because the mandate for the state was like October 18th, you had to be by that date, by Monday you had to be vaccinated, and that it was like a state law shit, whatever. Yo, they actually fired him, yo.
Yo, that is
like, dude,
that's insanity, bro.
He didn't get vaccinated. What is he gonna do? Give everyone COVID and breathe all over everyone and get like 1 million people sick? Like, do people not realize that you are responsible for your own health? Like, nobody's responsible for your health but you. They're trying to make things like everyone's responsible for everybody else's health, and you got to do this and you got to do that because you don't want to get somebody sick. And bro, I'm not getting nobody sick. Nobody getting me sick. That's how I feel about this shit, man. Like, come on. Yeah. Really firing the fucking head football coach just because he wouldn't get, like, that's crazy, bro. Think about that for a second. Like, the kids loved him. They interviewed some of the players afterwards, and they did not care about that at all. They gave him a Gatorade shower after the Stanford win. It was all love. The team was gelling. The team was starting to play well, and they fight. That's wild, bro.
The world is upside down, my friend.
Yo, Nick Rolovich at Washington State out as head coach. That is insane. But see, that's it in college. We'll do a college pick preview for the week coming up. I do want to say this. Tomorrow night is a big game. Wednesday night, they got the Sun Belt rocking. There's that time of year, mid-August, where they give you those midweek games. And we got Coastal Carolina at Appalachian State, which is now the big game in the Sun Belt every year. And it's going to be one of them this year. Definitely so far the biggest game in the conference. You know, Coastal Carolina, we love them. They're number 14 in the country, undefeated. They had the one-loss season last year, came out of nowhere, had a great season. They dominate. I want to talk about Coastal Carolina, the number 14 in the country from the Sun Belt, Group of 5, not supposed to be there. That team is really good, and I don't think people realize they got a lot of speed on that team. First of all, the quarterback's like 80% passing this year. They're efficient as hell. The tight end is nasty. He's an NFL player. They got a couple of running backs that can run the rock. McCall, the quarterback, Grayson McCall, to me, I like him for the Heisman right now. I know he's not going to get votes. I hope he gets invited at least to New York if things work out. Like he keeps playing well, but he's being overlooked right now. He's a fantastic player. And Coastal Carolina got a good defense. They got speed. That Sun Belt Conference in general has really been coming on. Really been coming on. The teams in there are getting really good, I feel like. Coastal, if they played against the big boys, they would shock some of those big boys. They're not one of those little teams that just they got some talent. They got some speed. I watched that team. Coastal against App State, and we know how good App State's been out of the Sun Belt over the last 5 years. They've been the dogs of the Sun Belt. App State is dogs. They've been their team that they're some dogs at App State. But I feel like the quarterback's been a little shaky. They had a bad loss to Louisiana Lafayette. I think Coastal is going to go to App State and make a statement tomorrow night. I think they're going to beat App State 45-20. So if you're hearing this, later points tomorrow night with Coastal at App State, 4.5. I think Coastal's going to win and win big in that game. Coastal's the truth. You got speed. They're the truth. So I just want to throw that out there about the big game in the Sun Belt. And then we go to NFL, man. And you saw some NFL this week, man.
Yeah, I did. Well, I watched a little bit of football. I was a little busy. It was my birthday. So
yeah, happy birthday, bro.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know what was a good birthday present for you? The Jets had a good week this weekend.
Yeah. They did, didn't they?
Yeah, they didn't lose.
I know. They didn't play. They were spared.
They didn't lose. You should have seen it. It was great.
Really great weekend for New York football.
Yeah. The Giants got blown out.
Giants, though?
They got blown out of the fucking stadium.
It was hard to watch.
It was. And my boy Kadarius Toney, the rookie who I love on the Giants, who I had as the number 7 overall best player in the draft and the number 1 receiver. Yeah, man. People usually, that was another story. When I had Toney number 1 receiver over Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Jamar Chase, who are all playing well, by the way, I was getting heat. Like what? Who's this guy? He's not better than, Devontae Smith, Jamar Chase. The rookie receiver class has been good, but I think Kadarius Toney, my guys, look the best out of all of them. Dude, he played the first drive this week. He already caught 3 passes for 36 yards on the first drive, and then he got hurt. His ankle got re-injured, and they took him out for the game. But for me, from what I've seen of Toney on the Giants, he looks unstoppable. Like the one full game he played, he had 10. What was that against Dallas? 10 catches for 170 yards. This good dude's nice on the Giants, Kadarius Toney, but they got smashed. Matt Stafford throwing the ball. The Giants' defense has turned into absolute trash. They were pretty good last year. They can't stop anybody.
What happened?
I don't fucking know. No pass rush. Matt Stafford looked like he had all day to throw the ball. And he was just picking them apart. Besides Bradbury, the whole secondary looks like trash.
It's going to be a while before the Giants can rebuild into a contender team again, I think.
I think, I think Daniel Jones is a little bit disappointing, man. He doesn't have that grit, that fire that he's got. You look at him and he's like got skills. Like you can't deny he's like a skilled, fucking talented player. He can run, he throws the ball nice, all that good stuff. but he just doesn't have the fire in his belly or something like that to really like muck it up and turn up like. And then he gets hurt. It's weird. Like his timing is everything. Is not the timing of everything is bad. Like the Dallas game, he got hurt, had to come out right at the worst point of the game where they looked like they could have really took over the game or something. He's just like. I think he's a big tease, Daniel Jones. He looks, you can see, and you see this talent, but like, it's not consistent. You know what I mean? It's flashes.
Yeah. Well, he is a rookie.
No, it was his third season.
Oh, it's his third season.
Yeah.
Then fuck him.
He's a young guy, but he flashes talent. It's like one of those situations where he's like, you want to keep him more. You want to see more because you're like, if he could only put it all together.
Like, you know what he's capable of,
yeah.
But there's something missing.
He might not all come together for me. It might. I don't know. But he's very like, it's tantalizing with him. But yeah, it's rough go for the G-men. They got smoked. The Lions, they went to Cincinnati. They got buried. The 1 o'clock games were very I can't always think of these words I want to say. Kind of anticlimactic is the term.
It's very lackluster.
Very lackluster.
Remember Mike Tyson said that after he fought Irish Mike Jameson.
Yeah.
He said that, what's that guy's name? That dickhead who asked Pete Rose about his gambling problem.
Oh,
fucking Gray or something.
Jim Gray.
Jim Gray. That guy's a pussy.
He is. He's
I can't stand that dude.
He's a cornball.
But like Jim Gray was trying to play him, during the after fight interview, and he's like, "Yeah, the fight was very lackluster." That's the only thing I remember. But I remember he beat the shit out of Irish Mike Jameson.
You know who he went crazy with? Who I liked? What was the guy's name on Channel 9?
Russ Salzberg.
Yeah, he was pretty good. Russ Salzberg. Him and Mike
fucking loved it. That was like he was like my favorite sports guy on like regular TV back in the day.
And him and Mike went all like they went.
I watched that live.
That was crazy.
I remember I was watching that in my father's home. I remember it clearly. It was like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or something.
Mike starts cursing.
You don't like it? Turn off your fucking station. That's one of my all-time favorite interviews. Next to Andrew Dice Clay flipping out at CNN.
Oh, I didn't see that.
They asked him if he's like running a bunch of gyms or something.
They try to categorize him as a me. Oh,
and he's like, where do you get your fucking information?
Well, what about when Mike Tyson went nuts on Lennox Lewis at the press conference?
Dude, Mike Tyson has a track record of just talking fucking reckless to people.
A track record of greatness.
God bless that guy.
Of legendary fucking sound bites.
Power.
I eat your fucking children.
I punched the guy behind the guy. But anyway.
Yeah, so back to that.
Back to football.
Yeah, anticlimactic, bro. Detroit got trashed by the Bengals. I don't know what the score was. Like, it was like 30-11 or some shit like that. The Texans got smashed by the Colts. So the Colts coming off that loss to the Ravens at heartbreaker, they bounced back. They played well. T.Y. Hilton came back for the Colts. Wentz looked good again. Had another good game. They blew the Texans out, I think, 31-3. There was another blowout in there. Kansas City handled Washington pretty easy, like 31-14. Chiefs a must-win game for them. They needed a win. They came out. They won pretty going away. Oh, the one game we did hit, though, I said it, the Jaguars were going to get their first win, and everyone was going to leave Urban Meyer alone. And they got it, 23-20. They ended up coming back and win that game, Ant. Remember I left?
Oh, yeah,
They said the Jaguars were losing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they came back and won. 23-20. They kicked it like a 52-yard field goal at the buzzer for the win. Miami, 1-5. Jacksonville, 1-5. Trash and trash. Yeah, that's right. The one good game at 1 o'clock was the Vikings-Carolina game. Vikings were, it was two teams needed to win, both around 500. Vikings, Dalvin Cook ran for 140 yards. I love watching Dalvin Cook run. He's so fun to watch. He's such a good back when he's healthy. The Vikings had a lead late. I think it was 28-17, and Darnold was having a fucking shit game. He was all over the place, throwing the ball all over the place again. But he was able to get them to come back late and tie the game with a field goal drive and then a touchdown drive with a 2-point conversion. So Darnold did come through late, even though he's having a shit game. They tied it up. But then in overtime, Kirk Cousins, you like that guy.
Kirk Cuzzo.
You like that. Yeah, Kirk Cuzzo.
Kirk Cuzzo.
Threw a nice long touchdown pass to KJ Osborne for the walk-off win for the Vikings. So they won 34-28 in overtime. They're 3-3. They needed that win. Another game at 1 o'clock. It was, for some reason I didn't catch much of the Bears-Packers game. That was another game. The Packers won. I did take the Packers. They won 24-14 over the Bears. Aaron Rodgers played okay. The Bears defense held them in the game, but they couldn't do nothing offensively. They just couldn't get enough going. They were up 7-0, the Bears, and they really couldn't do much after that. Justin Field, he's a rookie, he's struggling. He can run a little bit, but he's struggling seeing the field. And Rodgers. There was a big soundbite with Rodgers because notoriously he goes to Chicago and wins. Like throughout his career, like they play the Bears in the same division every week, and when they go to Chicago, Rodgers don't lose. He's got like a 12-1 record or some shit in Chicago.
He was talking shit.
Yo, dude, he ran in for a touchdown late in the game, and then when he was looking at the crowd, he goes, "I own you." He said to the fans.
Aaron Rodgers?
Yes, he said, "I own you."
Jeez.
To the fans.
That's crazy. Yo, I would never expect that from him. He seems like a fucking doodoo,
He does, but he gets goony sometimes.
Like a stunad. Like he knows everything about football, everything about being in the pocket. When it comes to like everyday shit, I always think like.
Oh no, he's a highly intelligent dude. Actually,
yeah,
he's actually like a really worldly, like almost like a Renaissance man kind of dude.
No shit.
Yeah.
I had that wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, no. I can see his face looking like, if you look at his face, he looks like a like a doofy, like he don't really, like he only knows football and banging bitches, really. And that's it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
One of those guys.
That's all he knows.
Yeah.
Like,
but he's an OG, dude.
He actually is kind of a Renaissance man. He's very.
I never knew that. What makes him such a Renaissance man?
He first of all he plays in a band. He knows a lot about music and about like playing music and old bands, and then he just knows about like what's going on in the world. He talks politics. He has his ideas about different things.
Is he vaccinated?
I don't know.
He probably is, because if he wasn't, he probably wouldn't be playing.
Well, no, in the NFL you can play.
Oh. So why is it okay for the NFL and not for like that coach?
I don't know.
It's hypocrisy.
It's actually a state thing.
Oh, okay, that makes sense then.
It's a state, and and in college you're a state employee. So the head football coach at Washington State's a state employee. So they have these rules, I guess, and the NBA and NFL rules are different. In the NFL, it's not mandatory. Sorry, guys, but it's not mandatory. But you have to wear. If you're not vaccinated, you have to wear a mask all week. You have to wear a mask during the game when you're not in the game.
You have to wear a yellow band around your arm.
Yeah, they I think they put some band around the arm, and they for contact tracing. It's a sick shit. Like,
Let me see your vaccination passport, please.
Dude, when COVID first came out, I try to tell everyone, COVID, I don't know what they tell y'all, but it stands for Certificate of Vaccination Identification. That's what it stands for. And, Anthony's talking about this, and which is relevant right now because that's what they're doing. They're asking for your papers. Let me see your papers.
It's fucking scary, dude.
It is. And
it always starts in the metropolitan areas like San Francisco and New York.
Yeah.
And then look at Australia right now. Australia's...
That's like a sick lockdown. And the Australian people are like pleading for help on social media. Like, it's bad, yo. Like, Americans need to pay attention. Like, they want to do this shit to us, what's going on in Australia and New Zealand. They just know that we got heat. Yep. And those people gave their heat up. So any of y'all out here with all your fucking woke bullshit and your like fake love and all the fake like caring about people's shit, yo, we ain't giving up the heaters. So shut the fuck up about anything. I don't care what happens to whoever on the news. Don't fuck with the heaters. You understand? Y'all know what I'm talking about out there. You ain't touching them heaters, man. All right? Because we ain't getting that shit like they got fucking New Zealand and Australia.
No, hell no. They can't let
I don't give a fuck, bro. They locking people in the house. They were telling some lady, it's good for you. I can't let you out the house. Like, she was quarantining. She's not even sick. Like, that shit, what they're doing over there is insane. In the membrane. And by the way, this whole mandating vaccine shit, like, if the vaccine works and you take the vaccine, what the fuck do you care what anybody else is doing? Like, I don't understand that. Like,
so
what the
that's
fuck
basic logic. Just like in natural immunity, right? Like if you had COVID, don't you think your body has a pretty decent immune response to
course,
Why do you need to get vaccinated also?
Yeah, you produce all those antibodies. There's no point.
Naturally. Instead of getting something just injected into you by some fucking corporation that all these people probably have stock in. They're all shareholders. That's why they're pushing this shit so much on the news, all the celebrities. They're all bought and paid for fucking puppets.
I've been doing
including sports. You know, look at the NBA, look at the NFL right now with all that shit, all the wokeness and all the virtue signaling.
Especially the dudes in the sports media, like Skip and Shannon and those dudes, they're sellouts.
They're like fucking robots, those guys.
And they all lie. They lie. They just say what the lie is, the propaganda. They don't even, and it's like, you can tell when they're saying it, they're not even so sure. They're just like, it's not even natural.
When they talk in that fucking news anchor voice, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's they change their tone into that whole NLP mode where they start brainwashing you.
Yeah.
But you know, all that shit, all those constructs, man. It's one of the reasons why I don't even watch sports. You know, I don't watch it enough.
Well, sports...
as much as I used to when I was young.
This is what to not watch. The sports shows when they talk. Because that's when they talk... You know, Stephen A. and those shows.
Yeah.
That's the shit that's bullshit. Like, I don't watch none of that. Because he's talking about Kyrie Irving and why he should take the vaccine. And all the lies and all the propaganda in those shows. And all the agendas. I just watch the games. That's what I do. Like tonight, I watched the 2 baseball games. I'm watching this game. I'm not watching a post game. I don't care about what Stephen A. and Shannon and Skip and all them dudes the next day and the day. All those shows are shit. Those shows, like, they're just there to mold you into, like, mold your brain into bullshit. Like, they're telling bullshit stories. Another thing besides that with the thing, it's funny how a certain bunch of people, when Trump was president, all these people who are mandating the vaccine now, they were like, oh, I'm not taking the vaccine. I don't trust Trump. I don't trust a Trump vaccine. Yeah, there's sound bites like Biden and Kamala Harris and Cuomo and all of them. They were like, oh, I'm not taking Trump's vaccine. No way. I don't trust him. Well, guess what? That vaccine is the same exact fucking vaccine that y'all pushing and trying to force onto people now. What's the change? What's the difference from when Trump was in president to now? The vaccine is the same exact vaccine. It's the same ones that you said you don't trust. Now all of a sudden, oh, you got to take it. It's the cure-all of you know, on so many fronts, man. This shit is just like, it's a bad, weird. It's some shit going on, bro. They got some shit set up. They because nothing they're doing even makes any sense. If you are a pusher of their agenda, like, go back and think all the steps. They don't make any sense. There's no common logic anywhere in this. Like, all of a sudden now the vaccine, you got to take it when you guys were like, oh, I'm not taking that Trump vaccine. Fuck out of here. I don't trust him. He made it himself in the lab. Trump did it. He mixed up the flu and this one, and you know, I saw Trump with the lab coat on. He was making the fucking vaccine.
He's going to come. They're going to take all of our antibiotics.
But yeah.
No, the world. Plain and simple, the world is upside down. People are getting fucking benched and suspended because they're not getting vaccines. Athletes are speaking up. People are speaking up. People in politics are speaking up now. They're like, this guy Joe Biden's fucking done.
Yeah,
it's like Weekend at Bernie's with that guy. So
yeah, that's who he is. The Weekend at Bernie's guy, the
dead guy that they're playing Monopoly with, and they're smacking the flies off of him. Fucking
yo! I swear to God, that reminds me of Joe.
No, that's Joe Biden. He's Bernie. Bernie Lomax.
That's definitely him.
Yeah, he's a fucking mutt. He's a mutt rat bastard.
Oh,
we will fight.
Oh man.
But
yeah.
So back to the NFL.
Oh yeah,
we took a fucking left turn.
4:00 games. Shit. The Cardinals stayed undefeated, 6-0. You know, it was one of those games. They jumped out early, Fucking Baker Mayfield had a couple turnovers. The Cardinals scored right off of them. DeAndre Hopkins, the second touchdown, I thought was a big one. They were up 7-0, and DeAndre Hopkins caught that little hitch, made that move, shook both guys, we got in the end zone. Cardinals were up 14-0. I'm like, oh, this is a long game. Browns are beat up team, and the Cardinals, they just, Kyler Murray, man.
On fire.
Yeah.
That dude.
37-14. What else happened at 4 o'clock? Oh, the Raiders. The Raiders actually the Raiders lost John Gruden this week, man. They had to fire him over some bullshit email.
Oh, boy.
That whole fucking bullshit, boy.
Nah, but I read some things. I've seen some things in the past. I think Homeboy was a little, a little bit of a racist, maybe.
I mean, he wasn't even a racist. He said rubber tires, lips to this guy.
No, it's like other shit. Like throughout his career, he said some like he's given a lot of left-handed compliments.
Yeah, and
to black athletes. So he does have a little bit of elitism, I guess.
I think he called Roger Goodell a faggot.
Yeah, he did. But Roger Goodell is a pussy.
Yeah.
So see, that's taken out of context. What you have to understand: football is it's a man's game. Yeah, and men just break each other's balls all day.
Yeah,
long.
that's why people they take all this. You're right. They take it too seriously.
It's the same thing with like comedy. Everyone's trying to crucify comedians. It's a fucking art form. Yeah, it's not even real. They're jokes.
They're just stop being offended by everything. Not everything's for you.
Yeah,
they made a joke. And they weren't thinking about you. All right.
Yeah, you're not that important. Everyone thinks they're so fucking important.
That's the problem. That's why this whole offended cancel culture always offended. You're not that important. They weren't thinking about you when they made the joke or they said it. Nobody thought about you. They didn't care about you. So just stop with the everything's about me and this was directed at me. No, it wasn't directed at you. Don't take it personal.
Listen, if you've ever seen the movie Bronx Tale, there's a very great line from Chaz Palminteri, whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, that's his name.
Where he's like, nobody cares, kid.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
So John Gruden went off and, talked some man shit. That when men are like that, they talk like that.
Yeah.
We call people faggots. We say you're a pussy. We make racist shits up sometimes to, it is what it is. And it's not, it just is what it is.
It's just breaking balls.
Yeah, it's breaking balls.
It's breaking balls, man.
Remember Mike and Gary?
Yeah, of course.
Two homies. One was black, one was white. We grew up together. And there was two people in general just would always like have a racial war going at each other.
Yeah, but
it was all part of our crew. Like
there was no vitriol behind it.
No.
It was all just breaking balls.
Yeah. And then we had
breaking
balls, and we had white and other black kids in our crew and Hispanic kids in our crew. So it was like we were just always chilling. But Mike and Gary had that war. It was like, and it was what it was. And
it was just like a snapping war. Yeah, that's it. It's like kind of roasting each other.
Yeah,
that's what men do. They roast each other.
And it was racial between them, but it was funny. And they didn't really ever fist fight over it. It wasn't like they didn't try to. It was just. Yeah, they didn't think nobody was offended by it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this fucking guy again.
Yeah,
breaking my balls again.
Yeah, there was, and we weren't offended. Everyone just laughed about it. It was cool. Like it was just, what I'm saying.
The whole Gruden firing thing is fucking extreme. Or he resigned rather. But they're ready to fucking nail him to the cross. The poor guy.
But the Raiders came through and won the game. The Raiders
finally
4-2 after losing 2 in a row. But they're 4-2 and they're still in that playoff mix. They beat the Broncos, who have now, I think, have lost 3 in a row. Or something like that. Yeah, they lost 3 in a row after starting 3-0. Derek Carr outgunned Teddy Bridgewater, and the Raiders won. Dallas won in overtime against New England. I did say to take the Cowboys. That was a good game. Mac Jones, Dak Prescott threw for 445 yards. CD Lamb, game-winning touchdown. In overtime, kind of a shootout. Mac Jones was hanging with Dak Prescott for a while, but the Cowboys got the win in OT. The Cowboys in first place. They got a nice lead in the NFC East now over the Giants, and they got the Giants, Eagles, and Washington football team in their division. So they got a 3-game lead. They're cruising the Cowboys towards the playoffs. So that's one thing to watch. Sunday night, Pittsburgh squeaked out a win over Seattle. TJ Watt, big sacks and sack fumble in overtime, sacking Geno Smith. Geno Smith didn't play bad.
We love Geno Smith, man. Old school Jet, representing.
Yup. Geno played all right. TJ Watt, though, beast. And then Monday night, good game last night. Tennessee and Buffalo, bro. Tennessee stretched out the win 34-31. Derrick Henry, the king, with the monster braid.
Wagwan.
Mayut.
Mayut.
That braid is dope, by the way. He had 20 carries, $143, 3 touchdowns. He was just, and they run that whole offense through Derrick Henry. So he's so that's what makes him vital. And that's why I'm setting that up, because we're going to do our real quick rundown of the top 5 NFL MVP candidates right now in the quarterback section and the non-quarterback section. So we do a top 5 in each, quarterbacks, non-quarterbacks. So I'm going to start with the non-quarterbacks. At number 5, Myles Garrett of the Browns. The Browns are still in the mix. Myles leads the NFL in sacks with 8. So I just put him at number 5. He has also 8 or 9 tackles for loss. He's having a good year, even though the Browns have given up big points the last 2 games against good teams, against the Chargers and the Arizona games they both lost. But Myles Garrett's still been great. So I got him at number 8 to set it off. Now we got, I had it tied. I give number 5 spot to 2 guys, him and Deebo Samuel, who had a bye last week. But I still got him tied at number 5. And Deebo Samuel, the wideout for San Francisco, having a great year, 17 yards a catch, second in the league in yards per game behind Cooper Kupp. And he has the most yak. I know y'all love yak. You know what I'm saying? That cognac. No, the yak, yards after catch, our favorite stat. So he leads the league in that with 290. So I got them 2 at number 5. Number 4 is that man. Mama, there goes that man again. Cooper Kupp, wide receiver for the Rams. Another big game against the Giants. 6 games, 668 yards receiving. Leads the NFL, second in the NFL. But the most touchdowns, 7 receiving touchdowns. He's a touchdown machine. He's just been, so far, the best receiver in the league so far, Cooper Kupp. I think he's 2 yards behind Devontae Adams. He's got the most touchdowns, and he's just been the most impactful wideout this year in the NFL. And that's why I got Cooper Kupp at number 4. Number 3, I got my man from the Steelers, TJ Watt, who I think is going to win Defensive Player of the Year. TJ Watt's, they only played 5 games. He's missed a game this year, but he's got 7 sacks. 3 passes defensed, 3 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. He's got all the stats down packed. You think about him, he's got 7 sacks, so he's right there with the top guys in the league. I think Garrett's got 8 in 6 games, but Watt also gives you 3 passes defensed, where these other guys have none. He has 3 forced fumbles. He leads the NFL, and a fumble recovery. So he not only does he give you the sacks, he gives you and he has 8 tackles for loss. So he gives you the sacks and the tackles for loss, but he gets pass defensed also as a rush linebacker, and he's got the most strip sacks with 3. So he's just an overall defensive monster. Oh, and by the way, he won the game for them basically with that in overtime. It was 2020, and he stripped Geno Smith and recovered the fumble. Or no, the linebacker Devin Bush recovered the fumble, but TJ Watt, Seattle was at their own 30. Geno Smith tries to step up in the pocket and run. TJ Watt, sack, stripped him, fumble, recovered by Pittsburgh, field goal, game over. So he won the game for them, TJ Watt. He's a beast. Got him at number 3. Number 2, best running back in football, the king, Derrick Henry. You saw it on Monday Night Football. He was the only reason they hung in that game against the Bills. Without him, they have no chance against them. 3 touchdowns, 143 yards, big screen pass catch at the end, and just his presence out there. You have to play the run. And it gives Tannehill, who got hot in the second half, it gives him time to throw the football. So Henry's the whole offense, and he didn't disappoint, had a 75-yard touchdown run. And this is how crazy it is. And you've seen how big he is, right? Derrick Henry, the running back.
Oh, yeah, that guy's a fucking brick house, dude.
250. Guess what? In that open field run for the touchdown, the 75-yard, he hit the speed he hit, I think it was 20-something miles an hour, was the fastest in the NFL recorded for a running back so far this year.
Jesus.
And he got out. They do that now. When they get out in the open field and you're running straight ahead, they record your miles per hour, how fast you're running.
That dude was doing 20?
Yeah.
Yo, that's gangster.
Yeah. The fastest 250-pound running back had the fastest recording time of someone with the ball this year.
That's
in the NFL.
abnormal, man. Yeah, it's not normal.
Yo, so I got him at number 2. And number 1, man, this guy don't stop. The corner from Dallas. Another interception, another touchdown, another pick 6 this week. Trayvon Diggs, the second-year guy out of Alabama. I mean, 6 games, 7 interceptions already, 3 touchdowns returns. He's doing some like Deion Sanders, Dick Night Train Lane type of season, like all-time great season for a corner. He's on pace for. Think about it. He has 11 games left. And he's got 7 picks already, this guy. He's going to try to break the NFL record. And three picks to the house. It's like, what? In 6 games? Damn. He's going nuts, Trayvon Diggs. Cowboys are 5-1, too. All these Cowboys haters everywhere. You know, you got all these guys, Stephen Anthony, the big Cowboy haters. Yeah, keep hating.
They hate America.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what it is. But like the Cowboys, you better wake up. Cowboys got some guys hurt. They got guys coming back. The Cowboys are stacked. No problem. And Dak Prescott's good enough to win and to win a Super Bowl. And speaking of Dak Prescott, we're going to go to our top 5 QBs. And he's in that top 5, but we're going to start off with Josh Allen, Buffalo. Even though he lost last night, he was great. He threw 3 touchdown passes. He was making plays, running the football, throwing the football. He looked great. He got stopped, though. Down 34-31, he made a good throw on a pass. Oh, no, it was like 3rd and 10, and he made a really nice run, but he was a half yard short. So it's 4th down. They're down by 3, the Bills. It's 4th down at like the 7-yard line. And instead of kicking a field goal to tie the game, they went for it on 4th and short with like 20 seconds left. And it was a quarterback sneak, but they got pressure from the left side, and he kind of like he lost his footing, and they stopped him on 4th and like a half a yard, going for the first down and the win. So, but Josh Allen played great. He's number 5 in our quarterbacks right now, and we're gonna go to number 4. The hot man, Dak Prescott, man, coming back off that injury last year, where he messed his Achilles or tore his knee ligament against the Giants, that ugly injury he had. He's come back this year, man. He's playing great. He played solid football in the game. They lost to Tampa Bay opening night, that game where they almost won. And then they won 5 in a row since. So you can't, and they've been putting up big points every week. Dak threw for 445 yards, the most ever against the Bill Belichick defense last week. And Dak is number 4, man, and he's on the rise, and he's having that year. He can still scramble, but he's killing from the pocket, man, and everyone's eating on the Cowboys receiving core. They got a whole bunch of guys getting the ball. He's spreading the ball around beautifully. So got him in number 4. Number 3, Matt Stafford, another team, 5-1 Rams. Their 1 losses to the Cardinals. He was a little off that game, but the other 5 games he's been just lighting it up, putting up numbers. He's got like 16 touchdown passes, 70% completion percentage. I think he's 3rd in the league in the league in yards. Matthew Stafford, I mean, his first year with the Rams, what more could you ask for as a Rams fan? They're 5-1. He's been great. You can see the difference between a team like the Lions organization and the Rams. Stafford, he was, people weren't sure, like you can tell it wasn't him on the Rams. As he comes on the Lions, why they were losing. It wasn't because of him, because he comes to the Rams and they're flying high, 5-1, looking like Super Bowl contenders for sure. They are in the mix. They're going to be tough to beat. So I got Stafford number 3. Then I got stay in the NFC, and number 2, the 44-year-old, that guy,
the God.
Yeah, Thomas Brady. Play that. Yeah, there you go. By the way, I looked up some stats on Brady this year, who's got like I believe 17 touchdown passes and 3 interceptions. 5-1. Leads the league in passing yards. Has the most passing yards through 6 weeks at any quarterback. But if you were to prorate his stats over, and they increased it to 17 games, but let's just prorate it to over 16 games, because that's what we're used to when we look at all the other old stats. They're all based on a 16-game season. So we're just going to prorate him through 16 games. He's on pace. This is a 44-year-old quarterback, mind you, to throw for 5,500 yards and 46 touchdown passes.
Mink, yeah.
Yo, what? Wait, what? 44 years old, you said? Yeah. 5,500 yards and 46 touchdown passes.
So, wow. What else can you say about Tom Brady, man?
Holy shit. Jeez. And we got him at number 2. Think about that for a second, how much we love him, and how great he is, and what a great thing he's doing right now with his age and just how long he's played, and he looks great, man. But number 1, I can't say, man, Kyler Murray, man, he's been impressive. The Cardinals are 6-0, and I was telling Ant before the season, because we drafted him on his Ant's fantasy team.
Yeah, he got auto-drafted, son.
Yeah.
I didn't even pick him.
And I'm like, dude, you got the dude you got is nice. He's going to make you want to watch football this year. And you're like, yeah? I was like, let me show you some highlights real quick.
Yeah, that highlight reel was lit. And I was like, oh, shit, I'm a believer now.
Yeah. And then it's crazy how he started out 6 and they're 6-0, right?
Yeah. It's nice to see the Cardinals looking strong like that.
Yeah.
They're a good team.
Yeah, they deserve it. The Cardinals have been one of those. They're kind of like the Jets' cousins.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
In the NFC version of the Jets.
Yeah, but they won a little bit more than the Jets, didn't they?
No.
No?
No.
How many bowls?
None. 0.
No, they don't have any Super Bowls.
0. They haven't. Oh no, they've been to 1.
Oh, they went to 1.
1-1. Yeah, that crazy game. Remember the Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh beat him. San Antonio Holmes back in the end zone.
Oh,
Kurt
yes.
Warner, Larry Fitzgerald. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
The Cardinals, they were terrible forever. Not even close to. I remember at one point they got to the divisional round and was like, wow. This was like when the Jake Plummer years, like maybe 2001. They finally got to the divisional round. They got blown out. And then they didn't do anything for a while. And then they had that run to the Super Bowl with Kurt Warner and Larry Fitzgerald and Anquan Bolden. And then I believe and then a few years later, they made the NFC Championship game against Cam Newton and the Panthers and lost to them. And then when Cam went to the Super Bowl. So they've only been in 2 NFC Championship games.
Damn. That's pretty shitty, man.
Yeah, the Cardinals are with.
That's why listen, they're 6-0 now.
Yeah.
They have like the future in this quarterback.
Yeah.
In Kyler Murray.
Oh yeah.
It's a very exciting season for them.
Yeah. They got some young talent. They got some good vets. They got some cornerstone players though. The Cards are going to be good for a while. They're going to be get used to them. Kyler's the truth, man. He's just like accurate and runs good, and he just makes plays. He doesn't ever seem to be rushed. Like he's always going on like his own timing. Yeah. Like he doesn't seem ever frazzled too much. He's been playing great. He's accurate too, man. I kind of slept on his accuracy. He's an accurate thrower to football. Just like, wow, Kyler's been great, man. And the way he gets out of trouble, and he's just a playmaker back there. He's playing, like Ant said, he's playing real well. The Cardinals look good. 6-0.
See, those are some pretty solid rankings there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's going on right now. Not bad.
Pretty good.
We're you're gonna see us again this week because we got a new equipment.
We'll come back with some picks, man.
Picks for the week, as you know. That's going down. We're also gonna do a little boxing preview. Yeah,
we have a little boxing preview coming up for the weekend.
Yep, WBO Featherweight Championship. Got the Young Gunner WBO Super Featherweight Championship. Sorry about that. Jamel Herring, the OG, the champion, the title holder, is the underdog against the Young Gunner, Shakur Stevenson. He's a pretty considerable underdog. A lot of people think Shakur's going to win too. He's one of those future Mayweather type of cats. He's like one who's been told he's one of the next up. And Herring's an OG, ex-Marine, 37-year-old champ. Not given a chance, but you'll see in the preview that we give for that fight that we might not be going along with the masses in that fight. We might have something different for y'all.
We'll see.
Like Herring going to whip that ass, young boy. That's what we're going to talk about. But yeah, we're going to have a boxing preview, the usual. It was fun.
Stay tuned. Like, comment,
subscribe. Tell your friends.
Tell your mother to listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
Tell your grandmother.
Yep. All of them.
Everybody. We got a little something for everybody.
You got a little everybody. Tell your abuela. Tell your everybody, But yeah, we'll catch y'all later. Up a little baseball too. Peace.